Hey there, it's Leona. Welcome to Zen Mindfulness Shodo. Today, we're gonna practice Shodo meditation while focusing on the Hiragana character for Ra. So, let's begin a beautiful journey together. When you write a character, imagine a square about the size of the character that you are gonna write like this. First, I'm gonna write it. Then I'm gonna explain the points and tips for writing the character beautifully in detail. Let's explain. The first stroke starts from a point a little bit higher than, and to the right of, the center point of the top left square. It's essentially an upward curved line, at an angle of about 30 to 45 degrees. It moves shortly to the bottom right until about the middle vertical line. Instead of writing this stroke the same thickness all the way from the beginning point to the end point, it appears more attractive when it gradually gets thicker as it moves downward to the right, even though it's not very noticeable when using a pen. By doing so, you can still better express the curved beauty of hiragana. At the end point, check towards the starting point of the second stroke to the bottom left. Then move the pen towards that direction. Since it checked at the end of the first stroke, the second stroke starts thin and gradually thickens as it moves down and left. Rather than a complete vertical line, parallel to the middle vertical line like this, by making it slightly slanted, you can better express a soft curved beauty that's unique to hiragana and a handwritten feel. It's essentially a slightly left curved line. Descend to about where the middle horizontal line would be in the middle. Then, curve to the right. The turning point shouldn't be too sharp and pointy like this. The curve should be neither too angular nor too round. For example, if you turn right like this, the turning point looks pretty sharp. On the other hand, if you turn like this, the turning point appears round. Aim for a middle ground, not too sharp and not too round. To achieve this, right before turning right, shift the pen tip to the bottom right just a tiny bit, and then move to the right. This one might not be a good example since I lifted the pen and placed it again. So let me write an example here again. Like this. The turning point of this sample character might be considered too round, but it's acceptable because it's not too sharp and pointy. So, just try not to make the turning point too sharp nor too round. Then, move upward to the right, while curving up until the middle vertical line is about in the middle of the horizontal part of the stroke. Here, curve downwards and scoop downward to the left while getting thinner. The end point should be at a height where the space above the first stroke's starting point and the space below the second stroke's end point are about equal. If you could scoop downward to the left while curving down and getting thinner to the middle vertical line of that height, the Ra character will be placed in the center of the square box, and that makes the whole character appear balanced and beautiful. Some people write the second stroke of this character with the same pen pressure to the end point without scooping, like this. However, creating diverse thickness of lines in one character makes the character look more interesting and attractive. A variety of different thickness of lines expresses a variety of pen speed. This last part that is getting thinner shows that the pen moved quickly, while this horizontal part that is thick shows that the pen moved slowly. When you look at Japanese characters that people wrote, you can tell which part they wrote fast and which part they wrote slowly. This variation in speed and thickness adds to the charm of handwriting. The final part, similar to the shape of a tsu character, should be elongated and triangular for a more mature impression. Avoid making it too round, which can look childish. I'm sure not many people write this part this roundly, but if you do, the entire character will look like an intentionally rounded character called marumoji in Japanese. If you want to make this character look cuter and more childish, you can intentionally write this part roundly. But if you want to write a more mature-looking, raw character, aim for a flatter, slightly triangular shape, similar to the second stroke of Hiragana chi. Try practicing with these points and tips in mind. The key points for writing Hiragana characters, as explained in the video, are concisely summarized in this book in a similar manner. The book allows you 3 pages to practice each character. It can be purchased on Amazon. See the link in the description. I'm gonna practice 1 page of this workbook this time, but you're welcome to practice as much as you want. If you're practicing with a pen, I recommend that you place a few pieces of paper under the page that you're writing on, so that the ink doesn't bleed onto the page under it. Alright, let's get started.